can run this. The other one is, I mentioned, nested menus. So a nested menu allows us to basically have dynamically, the menus you have to manually create, but have them show up automatically in different ways on the website. So let's do that first, because less people had their hands up for that. So I'm going to mess around with our Joomla Day website. And I have the approval of the website owner, which is Marion. We created this site over the summer. So easy to do. Okay. So if we look at the website, and I don't think we showed nested menus, did we? No, I don't think we do anywhere. And it will come up any day now. Okay, so if I'm looking at the site, okay, so you can kind of see the whole site. If I go to, let's say New York City, okay, and I click on that.
It's a text separator.
Can I give her a dirty look? Did I just shoot you a dirty look?
Sorry.
What's not a text separator? Sponsors. Okay, fine. If I click on sponsor, notice that underneath sponsor is sponsor now and sponsor information. So why don't I just click on sponsor? Okay, so I get information about sponsors. But then I say, well, wait a minute. What about sponsor now? Where do I go? I don't remember. So sometimes it's nice. If you have a drop-down menu, a lot of times our drop-down menus are a lot bigger. When I click on the top item, it would be nice if this list showed up somewhere on the page. So I don't have to always go back up because I'm dumb and I never remember where I am. Where did I go? What's the sub-menu? Okay. So what I want to show you is a way, now since the way we have the website set up, most of the stuff is here on the right side. This is sidebar B, right? Yep, okay. So I'm going to put it here, all right? I know normally you would probably put a menu on the left, but just to keep the layout the same, okay? So what I want to do is if I click on sponsor, I want sponsor now and sponsor information. I want those to show up right here on the right-hand side, okay? Which is, I think, a really useful thing to put on all of your websites. So if I go over to the back end, and I go to extensions and module manager, and I click on new for a new module, and the module type that I want is a menu. So I'm going to click on menu on the right. And for the title, I'm going to say sponsor info. And the select position, we're thinking sidebar B, right? Because the A was on the other side. Okay, select template. I'm just going to type in sidebar here so I spell it right. This is using a U-theme template. Balance is the name of it. So I'm going to select sidebar B. I only want this to show up on, if I click main menu, I don't want it on all the pages. I only want it to show it when I click on sponsor. So if I change it to only on pages selected, hey, can anyone explain what this one is, this last option? On all pages except those selected. Does anyone notice that before?
So you can remove them from specific.
Yes, and this is really cool in 2.5. This did not exist in 1.5. So in 1.5, I'm kind of doing a sidebar, but this is really exciting. In 1.5, let's say I wanted a module to show up on all of my pages except the home page. In 1.5, I would have to manually select all the pages. Okay, fine. And then guess what? I add a new menu item. My client goes to that menu item, and guess what? Is the module showing up? No, because I have to tell it. You have to show up. And Megan and Maria, that has happened many times. Okay? No, not at all, right? But this, in 2.5, says on all pages except those selected. So it does the opposite. So I can say except the home page, but every place else. You know, usually your home page has a different layout anyway. So you want this module to show up on everything except the home page. Really exciting feature, very fun. But it has nothing to do with what we're talking about now. Click on only of the pages selected. I select it. I'm going to click on clear selection, click on main menu, and I'm going to select sponsor, sponsor now, and sponsor information. So basically, it's going to show up on any of these 3 pages. Okay, that's where I want the module to show up. Is everyone following so far? Okay, the next set is what level, hold on, what menu am I showing? The main, I gotta change that to main. What start level am I going to start at? Now think about it. You have your menu, right? So you have sponsor, you know, all those things. And then you have the sub-menus, the nested. In Joomla 1.5, menus started at 0. So if you wanted to go to the next level, you'd have to start at a 1. Now they start at a 1. I hope you guys are following. Now it's starting at a 1, so I need to select a 2, because I want to show the inside. I don't need to show the sponsor. I want to show the stuff inside, the stuff that's dropping down. So I'm going to change that to a 2. Again, if you're in 1.5, this functionality works in 1.5, but 1.5 starts with level 0. I'm sorry, I don't need to be shouting in the mic. Hit save and close. I turned everything on. It's published. And and let's refresh. Sometimes this website has a mind of its own, so I can't guarantee everything's going to work as planned, but we'll try. Sponsor info, that I probably should just say sponsor stuff, and I didn't spell info right. But look what it just has now. So this is a nested menu. Beautiful thing, very simple to do. If you want another nested menu for, let's say, New York City, but New York City, I mean, it'll kind of work for New York City, not in the same capacity, because that's not a clickable, that's just a divider. The word's New York City, it just has the drop down. So you could do it from there too. But I would create a different module for each one, only so I can easily change the title. No, like I don't want it to say sponsor info when I'm on New York City, but I'm showing that. Sometimes you could, if you're not showing a title, if you're not showing a title here at all, then you could just do this module and put it on all pages that have a submenu. And it will automatically show all the nested.
Can you do the breadcrumbs? Can you do breadcrumbs?
Sure, yeah, well the breadcrumbs, that's, you just turn that module on and whatever breadcrumbs position, if you have a breadcrumbs position in your template.
That you visited?
Yeah, you know, I'm a little funny. Breadcrumbs make me nervous because it's not necessarily going in the sequence that my client wants it to go in, which sometimes has some discrepancies. Sometimes when you show too much, they get more upset than if it was not shown at all. And am I being a true developer right now by speaking that way? No, but it's true, because sometimes their expectation is, oh, well, it should go based on my category structure, but it doesn't. It'll go based on the menu structure. So it depends.
Wanted here you are functionality.
It does show you here you are, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's where you've been. It may not be because the flow. But, so how did the nested work for you? Good? You guys see how that works? Really simple key. Any other notes from my seasoned programmers out there?
For modification.
I just gave Matt Thomas an idea.
We
That's
need to
cool.
modify the core menu module with an optional parameter to use its parent menu item as the dynamic title.
Thank you.
That's what we need to do.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
just changed Joomla core. Okay, for 3.5, are you sending a note now?
Well, I'm tweeting it right now.
Okay, good. Okay.
How's that sound?
We just changed Joomla, so that's cool. So what Matt is saying, what would be nice, is what my problem is that we have to manually change this title. And I know there are other tools like MetaMod and things like that where you can program it and stuff, but without doing that, you just change the title. But what Matt's suggesting is put it into Joomla core when you do something like this, to have the option to just select whatever the main menu, whatever that first level is, use that as the title. Because that's typically what you would be doing. Now, you'd still have the chance to change that to something else, though, if you want, right?
Sure.
It wouldn't,
It could be optional.
as long as it's not fixed. Don't make it fixed.
Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing, yeah.
Because sometimes this may be wider, So sometimes my clients get excited, oh, I can put the words of the. Where up here, I'm forcing them to use much smaller letters because there isn't enough room. So as long as that's dynamic, yeah. More ideas, just let me know. I'm going to change, we'll change everything. So how'd you do on nested menus? Good? Okay. Next, the latest news. Let's see. Team. Okay.
Where's the setting that would move that menu just from the top or the bottom? How do you order those?
This one?
Those modules?
Great question. Okay. So if I go to, if I want to do any kind of ordering, you have to first of all click on the ordering here to activate it so you can actually change it. I would also suggest that you change the select position first, so you're only seeing the modules that are in that position. So if I click on select position, change it to sidebar B, maybe change the status to only show those that are published, just to clean it up. And then click on ordering. So then in here, you can change these numbers to whatever you want. Okay. Some people say, well, if you always want it to float to the top, do a 0. And then as you add things, they're not going to get 0, so that should in theory. But you know, if you have 10 zeros, obviously that's not going to work. To save the ordering, you click on the little floppy disk, which I think is so funny because nobody's going to know what that is. I don't think the kids out there have ever seen a floppy. I mean, they might, like in buried somewhere. Right, exactly. So I think that's kind of funny. But anyway. So yeah, you click on that to save your ordering. Good, John?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
What happens when that's you clicked on not having it on a certain page or something like that? So those modules are somewhat dynamic. They show up on some pages and some others.
Yeah. Yeah. So what he's asking, which is true, is like gold sponsors, maybe that's on some pages and not others, this one. So obviously the ordering is going to be dynamic slightly based on what you have appearing on that page. Yeah. Say it again?
Make a copy of the module.
You can also make a copy of the module if you want to make the one that's on a certain page in a certain order, and if it's on another page, put it in a different order. Is that where you're going with that? See? I hired them to be up there. Okay, latest news. Let's say we have a list of speakers, which we conveniently have in a speaker category. Yes? Now we do.
So if you want to know it, Joomla, the user group site, has all the latest news and all the things.
You know, I'm going to stick in here because I know this one better for today. Okay, so if I want to create latest news, there are two things here. There's latest news and news flash. Okay? Latest news just shows you a link to the article, just the title. News flash shows you the intro text for the article. So you may say, well, when would I would use which one? So let's say for latest news, which is, where did it go? News, latest news. This one's up top. Latest news is here. I always get messed up because they called articles news flash, but latest news is the L. So sequencing's a little buggy. But anyway, so if I click on latest news, let's just show a list of speakers. Okay? All right, so I'm going to just say speakers. I'm going to put it inside bar B. On the right, I can select what category or categories I want to use. Now this functionality works in 1.5 as well. It's just slightly different. I think in the category 1.5 you may have to enter in the ID number of the category. I'm losing my... In one of them you have to enter the ID, the other you can, it's a drop down. To get that ID you have to go to your article manager to get the category ID, like 62 or whatever it happens to be. So here I can just click on the speakers. This is the category I want. How many do I want to show up? Recently added first, so I can do that. Very basic here, and let's just show it. I'm going to just show it on the speakers page. Clear selection. speakers. I'm going to put it on both speakers' pages. Save and close. This is like a bare bones minimum. Okay, so if I go to speakers, so now on the right, I have automatically displayed my list of speakers. Beautiful thing. Again, dynamic, which is what I love. So you could do this with your latest news articles, newest things that have just come up. You want that shown as a list on the website. No more old HTML where you would type in, you would add the article and then you would type in the links. You don't have to do that anymore. So latest news does that for you. You can make this list as long as you want. Okay, so this is pretty flexible here. Now let me show you news flash. Let's say I want to just show a bio. Marion, did we use intro text in, did we read mores in them? No, not at all, right? Okay, that's fine. So let's say I want just a paragraph for each of the speakers, just their bio, just one at a time. So kind of on the right side, we'll just show a bio of my highlighted speaker of the day. For that, I can use Articles Newsflash. Top speaker, whatever. I'm going to select the speaker's category. I can decide if I want to show images from it or not. I'm going to say no, I just want the text. If I want to show the article title or not, I'm going to say yes. Do I want to link the title? I'll use the global parameters. Or I can say, sure, yes, let's link it. The header level, show last separated. So there's a couple of options here. I can have a read more. How many articles I want? I just want one. I have an option here which is nice, which is random. Okay, so I can select random here. And I'm going to just select which pages. Pick my speaker page. So if we refresh, it's going to be quite long because I don't think we put Pete Moore's in there. Did I pick sidebar B? Yeah, I did, except I said seekers instead of speakers, but that's all right. Do we have too many people linking onto the website? It's coming up. So what would you use something like this for? News of the day, tip of the day. Did you know? Think of all of your websites where you just want to flash different content of information when people refresh the page. So what's nice about using random is it could just select one of the articles that are within that category. Again, making your site change on a regular basis. People don't even realize it's happening, and you're not having to do any work. Did I lose internet maybe? It's just... The only problem with latest news and, okay, good. Latest news and speakers, both of them, they're very good. They do the basic stuff. So if I click on speakers, all right, scroll down, it's probably towards the end. Am I just losing patience? Oh. A long-running script. I wonder what that long-running script is. Did someone just hack into our site or something? Maybe the paragraph that it's picking up is from someone's speaker is way too big or something like that.
We don't have anything that's...
No? Because it's crashing on this page. Okay, that's fine. I'm good ignoring. So anyway, basically what it's supposed to do is it'll show a paragraph in that position. As you refresh the page, it'll show a different paragraph, okay? There's another tool though, I'm not gonna be able to install it this second, and it's called Ada News. Right now, I don't think it's on the JED because he had an issue with his website, so he created another link to it. So the JED, the Joomla Extensions Directory, if they find that the URL doesn't match, they take it off, which is fine. He's since created a different URL and obviously didn't update it on the JED. So if you just do a search for AIDA News, what this tool does is it combines together Newsflash and Latest News and puts it on steroids. Because the problem with Latest News is that, I don't know if you noticed, but the ordering, I had most recent and alphabetical. Not really what I'm looking for, you know? Same with Newsflash, it had random, most recent, you know, very, very limited as far as the ordering goes. The AIDA News has, I mean, the different types of ordering you could do is forever. You can also select with Ada News the capability of using the first image that it finds as a thumbnail, which is a beautiful thing because then, where did I put it? No, that's it's not live. I'm thinking Ada News. I did it on the old Joomla Day website. Where did we do it? I did it there. Yes, thank you. Maria knows my source. Hold on, it's unlocked up.
So this thing tells me everything, like the server, everything, what's going on, what they're using, as far as like certain.
I'm not going anywhere.
Helps me figure out, like, oh, like so, like go this is someone's website.
That's nice.
And I'm like,
Okay, can I get somewhere, please?
And I'm like, I want to do everything like so
Like I spelled
this
style.
program kind of like lists everything. This is all the stuff there. Harry already.
So view the source of this source.
Okay. This is an example of Ada News right here. Okay, this is not a table. I didn't create a table for them to do all this, none of that. So what I did with Ada News is they're taking articles from a specific category and showing them. Their articles have this thumbnail or an image in the article. By using Ada News, I'm telling it, I have the option for the images to use first image as a thumbnail. And then I also have the capability to say what size I want the image to be. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the same size as what appears when I click on it. I also have the capability of saying, I want the intro text, but I only want the first 50 words. Or I only want the first 10 words. Or the first 10 characters, or however. You can also specify in Ada News the CSS you want to do. For every single time you use Ada News, you can change it. So what I mean by CSS, the line that's dividing each one. That's through Ada News. I can basically say, I want there to be a right border, or however I want it. I can say, I want the header to be black. I want the link to be blue. You can actually define the CSS in the Ada News module. Okay, and it's Ada News 2 now. They call it Ada News 2. So all of this is generated automatically on the fly. So my client doesn't have to go through and make a table, and then when they want to change it. So now all they do is right now they have those 3 articles. When they want to add a new article, they just put a new article in that category and it will automatically show up there. Okay, and kick somebody else out. The other trick that I did to make this work, you may say, well, where did the circle go? Right? Where's the circle image? That's not on this page. I put that as part of the intro text. Okay? On your article, you can select hide intro text. So I have a teaser at the same time. So that's a parameter in your article. You can select hide intro text. So basically the magic that I made happen is they put that circle is in the actual article, and I can I want to go here for you so you can, I just want to show you what I did. Oh, you know what? That's not, I don't remember the ID. Okay, forget it. I can't go in. I'm forgetting what the ID was. So basically, if you go into the parameters, and all you have to do is select hide intro text. So there's a couple of different things that I did here. I used Ada News to give me all the articles in a specific category. In Ada News, I defined I want the thumbnail to show up. Okay? Then in each of the individual articles, there's a parameter on the right-hand side. I just selected hide intro text. So that way my client creates the article, they put the circle in, whatever text they want, read more, and then they do the rest of the article. So it's beautiful. That's something that the client can do easily, but yet we make it look like it's doing all this funky stuff, okay, which is cool. So that's the Ada News. So I did Ada News, latest news, news flash, nested menus, load position. You guys ready for load position? You guys following me? Yes? You're not falling asleep on me? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm experiencing some technical difficulties, but okay, load position. I want to go back. I'm curious if Internet Explorer is giving me the issues. Peter.
What's it doing now?
I don't know, it's just behaving badly.
I noticed the network seems very slow, so that's
Everybody's
could be
at
it
lunch
too.
and everybody's using me.
it's going slow for me
Good
now.
point, yeah. That's all right, that's all right. Well,
Deadly Walmart shooting,
oh no.
shoplifting kills employees.
Oh God. Okay. It's definitely slowing down on me. Let's talk about load position. And just so you know, all this functionality exists in 1.5. This is not new. This stuff has been around, I think, even since 1.0. These concepts of latest news and news flash. Let's say you have a module. I don't care what the module does. It could list articles, it can list newsflash, it could list events from JEvents. So it's just basically a module that does anything. Let's say I want to put that module inside of my article, inside of it. So, for example, let's see if this one comes up. I just want to make the page a little smaller so we can find it. If I go to youth, so here I have an article. This is just an article, that's all it is, okay? These tabs, by the way, I created using a tool called Tabs and Slides plugin by joomlaworks.eu. Beautiful plugin. It's easy, it's small, makes you very happy. Okay, so it's Tabs and Slides plugin. And just so you know, they have a plugin and a module. This is the plugin. So in my article, I just say tab equals title, tab equals title. So that's my tabs. But here, let me talk about the load position. You see this list here? I don't want them to have to go in and enter in what events are going on for that week. That's not going to fly. So they store all these events in JEvents, an events manager. JEvents has a module called Latest Events. So what do you think Latest Events does? It shows you a list of events in a category. You put it in position B. Great, right? You show it up to the side. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted it to show up inside of this article. Okay, so you see where I'm getting at, what I'm trying to do. All right, again, making your content dynamic so your end user doesn't have to do all this stuff. All they do is add the event and then it shows up on the page. All right? So let's go back over to my Joomla Day site. We'll see what else I can break on our website. So I think I actually may have knocked the speaker page down with that news flash. Mary, I'm not sure what I did, but.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Okay, so if I create a new, let's just say I create a new article called Our Speakers, and in it, I want to just list our speakers. You probably wouldn't necessarily go this route, but I just want to show you how it can work. Okay, so I'm going to say Our Speaker list. We have a general. I'm just going to put it in general, nothing fancy. And in here, I'm going to say this is our list of speakers. And I have to, normally what would you do? You would type them in, Joe, Laura, you know, whatever. Not very efficient. I'm going to save this. I'm going to just make a menu item real quick that goes to this. So I'm going to erase a little bit just so I can show you the end result. There's not much racing during lunch, is there? Moving a bit quicker. Okay. So the type is just going to be an article. I'm just showing that article that I just created. So again, nothing fancy. Speaker. I'm going to call it speaker 2 because obviously we already have a speakers one, so this way I don't completely throw off the site. Although it may wrap some things around. That's okay. Change. So I have to say what article am I going to link this menu item to? Just find it. Speaker list. Remember, I got to get the right one, right? And I'm just going to do a save and close. Okay, now I'm going to create the module. So I have a module that we talked about a little while ago called Latest News, right? And it can give me a list of speakers. So if I click on New, is this it? I think it is. My screen is not doing. Okay. Speaker list. I want my speakers. We did this already, right? So this is pretty basic. We'll just show 5. Here's the trick, select position. Now in Joomla 1.5, there's a drop down here. So we thought that that means you can't type in here. It's a lie. You can. You can put anything you want in here. Now in 2.5, they made it a little bit easier because it's not a drop down. In 1.5, I have to literally force people to put their cursor there to type because, you know, when you think there's a drop down, it means you can't type, but you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this module speaker list. I need to write that down somewhere so I don't forget. Once you start creating module positions like this, you will get module position happy. You should create some kind of naming standard or something. You know, because you could literally create hundreds and hundreds of things here, which you don't want to do. Don't put spaces here, it's just going to make your life miserable. Just do it as one word, so I'm calling it speaker list in all lowercase. I'm going to make it publish. Now the question is what page or pages you want it to show up on. The easiest option would just say I want it to show up on all pages. But in reality, that could slow down your website if you start doing that all over the place. Because in reality, am I going to be showing the speaker list on every single page of my website? No. So this way it doesn't load it unnecessarily. My suggestion is you really do select the pages that you're going to be using this module on. If you don't, if for some reason this doesn't show up, double check the pages you have it to be showed up on. If it's not selected, obviously it's not going to show up. So I'm going to scroll down and just have it show up on my speaker list page. And speaker 2. And hit save and close. So all I did so far, this isn't going to show up anywhere yet. All I did was create a new module position without using any code whatsoever. Again, all you have to do is type it in there. So now I'm going to go to my article, and I want to tell my article, put this module inside of my content. Okay, and it could be of anything. So now I go into my article. What do I call it? Speaker list, because I didn't write it down. Yeah. Find it. Speaker list. So instead of typing the things in, all I have to do is type curly brackets. I'm going to make it a little bigger so you can see. Load, position, speaker list. Just let you look at that for a second so you've got it. So what I'm doing here is using a plugin that comes with Core Joomla called Load Position. It will load. Now, if I said sidebar -B, it will take anything that's in the position of sidebar -B and put it in the middle of the page. Probably don't want that. It'll put whatever module that's set to show in the speaker list position in the middle of the page. Pure, dynamic, beautiful. This has always worked in Joomla. This is one of the things I love about it because it makes your pages really dynamic, like that J events that I showed you, or if you're using a Docman that has PDFs, you have that. Yep, she's buzzing me. She is buzzing me. Let me hit save and close. We will preview it and you will run to your next session. Save and close. You guys could look at the site too, because it's online, all the screwiness that I just caused our...
Thank you for taking our site backwards.
It's still not any further back than it was in June. Okay, so speaker 2, if I click on it, in theory, and down, da-da-da-da, look at that. We just put our speaker list inside of the article. Really cool stuff. Okay, so recap. Latest news displays articles. Newsflash displays the paragraphs. Ada News combines the two and puts it on steroids. Nested menus, you got to make sure you're selecting at the right nested, whether you're in 2.5 or 1.5. Have it show up on the menus that you want. Look forward to 3.5, a change where it's going to be dynamic titles. And there's your load position. Make sure you title it as you wish.
I just want to say one thing about Laura Gordon. When you're a developer, you can either develop to make it easy for yourself or make it easy for your client. And Laura thinks about making it easy for the client. And you should use Core Joomla functions to do that, because Core Joomla was designed to make it easy for clients, and Laura epitomizes that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. I have a couple clients in the room, so they don't think the same thing right now, but thank you. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. In about 5 minutes, the next set of sessions are going to start. So.